I just talked to my camera for half an hour and it wasn't recording. So I'm doing this again. Welcome if you're new here. Welcome back if you're returning. I'm Nat the Horse Witch, known to some of my friends as Magic Nat. And this is a VR to the deck tag, or the tag on having a deck collection by Sapling Tarot. And I don't think they meant to create a hashtag when they did this, but I have so been enjoying everyone's videos on this topic. And I wanted to bring my perspective as someone who is new to tarot and deck collecting. So let's get into it. So this is a VR in response to Sapling Tarot, and this is on having a deck collection. And I think I bring a unique perspective as someone who is new to deck collecting. I'm new to deck collecting. I'm new to TarotTube. I'm new to the tarot community as a whole. And because of that, I think I bring a fresh and unique perspective, especially in some of these hashtags where we're discussing where TarotTube is going and on having a deck collection and all of those things. So the first prompt is, how long have you been collecting decks? And I've been collecting decks less than a year. I think in April of last year, I had 3 decks. And 2 years ago, I had 0. So I am new to collecting. I now have over 50. I don't have an accurate count. I need to update my spreadsheet. And in order to do that, I need to alphabetize my decks. And I have been putting that off because that means pulling them all out, collecting them from around the house, getting them all in one place, and then putting them in alphabetical order, and then making sure my spreadsheet is correct, and then putting them all back. And I don't want to do that. Prompt number 2, what kind of collection do you have? I would say my collection is very modern and pop culture. I have 3 Taylor Swift tarot decks. I have the Buffy tarot deck. I have the Supernatural tarot deck. I would say definitely pops of color, more modern are things that appeal to me. I also really love collage decks and decks that have a vintage aspect to them. And when I say vintage aspect to them, I mean decks like the Quiet Rebel, right? Where you have the kind of old-timey photos collaged over more modern backgrounds. Prompt number 3, am I a completionist? I am not. I don't feel the need to complete deck series like Seasons of the Witch. I only have 1. I might pick up 1 or 2 others, but I don't feel the need to have the complete collection, mostly because I'm not a Wheel of the Year person. Most of my beliefs don't come from the Wiccan tradition, so I'm seasonal, but I'm not Wheel of the Year. And I also don't feel the need to collect until a certain point. Like my deck is complete when I reach 100 decks, or my collection is complete when I have this deck, or my collection is complete when I feel it is complete. I there's no desire. Like my collection is a living, growing, um, dynamic thing. Um, and so I don't feel the need to quantify it in that way. What is my favorite thing about my collection? I love that it is so new. I don't think I have a ton of decks that were made before 2020. I've definitely probably got some, but my collection is very modern and new. It's colorful. It has art that brings me joy, and that's what it is. I don't have a lot of really dark decks or anything like that, and dark in subject or visuals. Um, most of them are light and fluffy and bring me joy. Um, for example, one of my favorite autumn decks is the Supernatural Tarot. I think it's cheeky. I love it. I also have the giant Buffy, which I cannot use. It is too huge. It brings me joy. The cards are as big as my head. It's ridiculous. I love it so much. How do I store and organize my collection? Mostly this way. Behind me, I have this wonderful bookshelf, and this shelf, and the corner shelf. And when I outgrow that, I will cross that bridge when I get to it. I don't really keep, I keep decks. I keep decks out. Usually if they're out, I'm getting ready to film or use them. So they're kind of scattered in my living room and on my altar and on the little TV cart that I keep by my couch, but like they're all in one room. I don't have decks in my bedroom or anything. I keep one in my purse, and that's about it. Prompt number 5, what is your favorite thing about your collection? It brings me joy. It brings me joy. It brings me joy having these decks. It brings me joy participating in Tarot Tube. It brings me joy to buy and sell in used groups. It brings me joy to meet other people who are interested in tarot. And my collection allows me to do all of those things. Excuse me. What is my least favorite thing about my collection? Nothing. I don't even have any decks that I want to rehome right now. Like, I'm just a Taurus on my horde of tarot decks, and they're mine, and nobody can take them away. And they bring me serotonin and dopamine when I get them in the mail. Prompt number 7. What is the biggest category of your collection? Probably modern decks. They're all modern. They're all colorful. That's the word I was trying to think of. I would say I have a fair amount of collage decks, but that is about it. I don't have very many dark decks. I don't think I even have one black and white deck. So modern, colorful, collage. If it has one of those things, I'm probably gonna like it and want to buy it. What is the smallest category of your collection? Again, dark or black and white. Prompt number 9. Do I have a holy grail on my collection? And yes, I own an original Kickstarter of Lightseers. And it did not come with the original 10 of Swords, but it does have the remake, and I love having it. I keep it on a shelf. I don't use it. I bring it down to reference when I'm talking. I've made a couple videos on how to spot counterfeit decks. And so I use it then to talk about the difference between indie, mass market, and counterfeit. And I like using light seers for that because I have all four. I have the original Kickstarter, I have a mass market, I have the pocket, the deck in a tin, and I have a counterfeit version. And so I use that a lot when I make how to spot counterfeit deck videos. Do I ever wish my collection was bigger, smaller, or complete? My deck collection is an organic thing. Um, it is growing. Sometimes it's stagnant. Sometimes, well, it doesn't need to shrink yet. I'm not getting ready to declutter or anything like that. I'm still growing my collection, so it hasn't been time for me to declutter, but that will happen. Um, but as of right now, it is, I'm not one to say, oh, I'm done collecting when I reach X number of decks, or I'm done collecting when I obtain this deck, or I'm done collecting when XYZ. Like, it is something that I'm doing that brings me joy. People collect things all the time, and I enjoy it. I like having a wide variety of decks I can read from. I can literally go, what am I in the mood to use? And pull a couple decks off the shelf and see what's resonating with me that day. Um, and so I like that, and I like having them right now. So I never wish my collection was anything but what it is, and the journey that I'm on to create it. Prompt number 11: how often do you declutter your collection? That has not happened yet. So when I do a deck declutter, honestly, I haven't really thought about it that much because I'm not there yet. So maybe next year. Uh, Prompt number 12: do you ever get jealous of others' collections? When I was first starting TarotTube, yes, absolutely. I would be like a little magpie, and I would be like, what is this deck? Where can I get it? How much is it? And now, not so much. Now I've got enough decks to the point where if I see someone doing a deck pairing or doing something with a certain style of deck, I have something similar that I can go and use. So, and at this point in time, I'm familiar enough with tarot to have seen so many decks on TarotTube. And so, one, I have a better idea of what my taste is, and two, I don't feel the need to like magpie every deck anymore. Who on YouTube has the best collection videos? Okay, three notable people did deck collection videos series last year in 2025, and that was Lisa Pepez, Carrie's Mystical Musings, and Shanna D. And I will link their channels in the description below. But they had deck collection series, so they did several videos going over their whole collection, and they were all great. 14. What is some advice you'd give to a future new deck collector? I think the number one thing is don't go into deck collecting decks. Don't do it. Buy what you can afford. And one thing I will say, as you move forward with deck collecting, or if you start deck collecting, what you think is an expensive deck when you first start, you will not think is an expensive deck like a year or two into it. Do I still have a limit on like what I will spend on a deck? Yes. And if it is 3 or more figures, probably not. I just don't have that kind of income. And once a deck gets that expensive, then I don't want to use it, right? Like I have the original Light Seers. That's a 3 to 4 figure deck. Especially since as time goes on, they are so hard to get a hold of. Um, if you have the original 10 of Swords, easily 4 figures. You're talking $1,000. Even without it, I've seen it sell anywhere from 650 to 850. So at this point, I can't see myself spending that much on the deck. For me, there is one deck that I would consider spending $100 on, and that is still too much. I would prefer to pay like 75, and that is Stephanie Capone's The Moon Void Tarot. Will I eventually pay $100 for it? Probably. If I found it for like 65 to 75, I would snap it up immediately. And so that's it. Don't go into debt. And then kind of who you are as a deck collector is going to change and mature. You're going to figure out what you're attracted to. Probably as you start out, you're going to just kind of magpie decks, and then you're going to turn around one day and realize, wow, I have like 7 collage decks. I must really like collage decks. Or something to that effect. And you will start realizing that you have different categories that you've been collecting. And I think just enjoy the process. These are things that I'm starting to recognize about myself. And it is interesting, right? Like I can turn around at my collection and look like, oh wow, I have multiples from this deck creator. I must really like their work. Jamie Sawyer, um, Lynn Thurman, and so it's just interesting to see who whose decks you end up supporting, what the styles are, um, what you're attracted to reading for yourself versus if you read for other people, and things like that. And I know some people get superstitions around their decks, like they will only use certain decks to read for themselves versus decks that they use to read for other people. And I don't have that yet. I will pretty much, I have one deck that I only use for one thing, and that's it. Um, and that's just because I didn't really like that deck. And then I started using it for a project and it did really well, but now I only use it for that one thing. So, all right, that is all the prompts. Thank you so much for joining me today. Please like and subscribe. I always promise that I'm going to try and get better about posting videos on a schedule, and then I never do, so I've stopped making that promise. I am a creator that does this because I like the community on TarotTube, and I like the camaraderie, and I like connecting with people in the tarot and witchy communities, but I am not compensated for this in any way. And so it goes low on my priority list of things I need to do, um, and when I have the spoons to do it. So I really wish I could be one of those channels that puts out a video every week, or 2 videos a week, or even 3 videos a week, but I am not. Usually I just come home from work and die because I am unmedicated ADHD approaching perimenopause. And so it takes all of my energy to focus during the day. And I get home and I'm like, I don't want a brain anymore. My brain is tired. My brain just wants to go. And so that's what I do. Again, please like and subscribe. I do have a haul video coming out. When that comes out, I don't know. I still have to film it. Do I film it after this? We'll see. All right. Thank you so much for joining me. This has been great. Thank you to Sapling Tarot for creating this tag, whether intentionally or unintentionally. And I can't remember at this point because it was so long since I watched the original video, because this tag has been out for like 2 months. Maybe not 2 months, maybe a month, 6 weeks. And I'm just getting around to filming this. So thank you again. I'll see you next time. Bye.